Hey, welcome to the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com and the Star Goddess podcast here for July 29th, 2019. And Star Goddess, how's our week going to go? Good morning, AJ.
It's going to get better. It's going to get better because Mercury, the planet of communication, finally stops moving backwards on Wednesday and starts to go forward again. That's the biggest thing because for the last 20 or 19 days or so, it's been moving backwards and it just messes up everything. Communication's bound to be done over again, bound to be repeated. So at least we can start to go forward and get some resolution.
Yeah.
Because the things you hear, you can't trust, you can't believe them. You're not sure what to do. You're not sure what to do. You've heard something's going to happen and you're not sure how long you're going to be out of your house for, and you want to be able to kind of plan that, and you don't have an answer because Mercury is retrograde. So at least that stuff comes to an end.
Yeah, and I always remind myself when these life events go by, and I think to myself, what's going on? And then I remember.
It's Mercury retrograde. So I don't think that God's going out of his way just to ruin my life. It's everybody's life.
I've been watching AJ come in, and she's been going, this Mercury retrograde's got to get out of here.
And it is, and it was much worse. It was much worse for your sign because you're a Taurus and Mercury retrograded in Leo, which squares it. It's not really so bad for Leos, but it was awful for Taurus. It's awful for Scorpios. Aquarians not liking it either.
There was just a lot of random miscommunications or emails that were sent, but people didn't see them or they misread it, and then things that were scheduled to happen, then all of a sudden people had issue and didn't happen, and then last minute it was just like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, damn you, Mercury retrograde.
Sky.
Definitely. Now, I got a question. Do we have another one happening this year?
Yeah, we do, but it's not till the end of the year.
Okay.
Which is really great. It is not until November.
Okay.
So we have a good long time before we have to jump off that particular bridge.
Okay.
So, but that's the first set of news, is that Mercury goes direct on Wednesday, so things can begin to go forward. The second and more important bit of news is Venus, the planet of love, is entering the sign of Leo. So on Wednesday, we have a new moon in Leo, which is always new starts. But when Venus enters your sign, you genuinely feel the love. And again, this has not been in that sign for 14 months. So it's the first time that it's going in there. And I think wherever Venus goes in your chart, it's the lesser benefic is what it is. And if there's never any bad news with Venus. And so I thought it was important to know where Venus is going to be for the next month or so you know what area of your life you will feel the love in.
Oh, okay.
Because for some people, it's personal. For other people, it's financial. So for Leos, the sign that we're in, they feel the love in every sense of the word. They feel the love professionally. They feel the love personally. They have a lot of gratification in store for them because the last 3 or 4 weeks or so has not been so sterling for them.
Yeah,
and so with Venus entering their sign, it smooths out relationships. If they're single, it'll attract somebody. If they're in a relationship, that relationship goes very well. But they genuinely feel that all the lights are green for them for the next 3 or 4 weeks or so, which is a great feeling to have.
I've been feeling a little snubbed from my family recently, like everybody's busy, and I want to do stuff with family, and family's got things going on. I'm trying to get everybody together.
You want to feel the love.
I want to feel the love from the family right now.
After Wednesday, so no doubt this weekend you get to do a lot of that. So it's a very cool thing for Leos, feeling good about themselves, good about their lives, good about their interpersonal one-to-one relationships. So it's really good all the way across the board.
I'll take some money too, by the way. Money loves good.
That's not till next month.
Don't be a greedy bitch, Crash. Exactly. Don't be a greedy bitch.
Leos. And that's the thing about Leos. Leos always have the mores. They're like born with the mores. Whatever it is they get, they think, I should get more. And I'll ask them, I'll go, well, what more do you think there could be? It's like, I don't know. Well, how do you know that there's more? There just is. Okay. I'm a Virgo. We're like, man, this is as good as it gets.
10s, 5s, 20s, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. For Virgos, not so much. This is a good time for Virgos to take a vacation. It's a good time for Virgos to take a step back. When Venus is in your 12th house, Virgos, is when you're likely to try and sneak around. And you're going to get caught. That's the big news that Virgos. And Virgos they will bust themselves, which is really bad. Instead of somebody busting you, a Virgo will say something stupid that will get themselves in trouble. So for
what's
Virgos,
that month again?
Virgo runs from August 23rd to September 22nd.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a couple of Virgos with Deuce and Big Rig. Some guys to look out for.
Keeping their eyes on them.
Yes. It's a good time for Virgos just to take a vacation and just to back off a little bit and kind of regroup a little bit. But Virgos, don't think you're not going to get caught, because you will. In a dumb way.
Yeah.
In a really dumb way. In like a little teeny detail way.
Little white lies?
Yeah, that they end up getting.
Truths.
Yeah, exactly. Got to be careful with that, Virgo. For Libras, this energy is in the 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. All of the air signs and the fire signs do very, very well with this energy. For Libra, they get to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective through the help of their well-placed male friends and colleagues. And I mean, this is something that a Libra could have been working on for as much as 2 years without getting any really substantial kind of movement forward. And then all of a sudden this month, what it is that they tried to put into effect over the last 2 years actually can come to be. And it's through the help of their well-placed male friends and colleagues help them get that.
So Libras need to look for that.
They do.
That
And
thing to finally
they
happen
need
for
to
them.
realize that this is something they thought wasn't going to happen, that they tried really hard to put together. And now all of a sudden the stars align and they get to achieve that goal or objective, which is great.
Yeah.
For Scorpios, this energy is in the 10th house of career and public standing. And this is not a good time to poke the professional bear. When Venus is in your sign, Scorpios think, ooh, I should get the moon and the stars. And they can be successful, but they can also get the big head, and the big head makes them get themselves in trouble, where they think they're more than what they are. Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yeah.
And the other thing about them is there's things going on professionally. And they can end up on top of the professional heap, but they can't pick a side right now because it hasn't really been determined which person above them is going to get the big job. And they don't want to be aligned with the loser.
A little diplomat, have some diplomacy there.
I would
looking for
I
everybody.
would try and do it both ways if I was them. I would try and say, whoever it is, yeah, I'm on your team. And then whatever ends up being the team, you go, yep, that's the one I'm with. I knew it all the time. For Sagittarians, which is your rising sign.
Okay.
Legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance. There might be some travel popping up for you. They're also, more importantly, for Sagittarians everywhere. There's some kind of contract, some kind of negotiation, some sort of we need you to do this.
Okay.
And it's going to be very favorable for the Sagittarian. It helps them to reach either a broader audience with their world or actually expand what it is that they do. I don't think that they change jobs per se, but they get a lot more gratification, and then there's opportunities inside of their job.
All right.
And that's what they find out over the next 4 weeks or so.
And this line of work that could be anything,
Yeah.
really. There's
Yeah.
so much opportunity. So yeah, and
Which is a really cool thing.
all right.
For Capricorns, it's about the money. It's about other people's money. It's about finding a way. This is literally money falling out of the sky on you. This is not a matter of Capricorns going, ooh, I work really hard and I get this reward. This is a matter of right place, right time, and money flows their way. And they get to take advantage of other people's resources. So it's sort of like you might be the Capricorn, but your partner gets the raise and you get to spend the money. It's that kind of a deal. So, and it also, something new comes to light because there's a new moon on Wednesday. And whenever there's a new moon, there's a light shown on whatever area that's in. And for Capricorns, it's about the money and the resources they share with other people. So something new comes to light that ends up giving them a better financial position. I don't know that the money goes in their pocket per se, but they get to take advantage of it. That's sort of like your best friend buys a boat and you're off on Fridays to go fishing with it.
Yes.
You know what I
Everybody
mean?
has fun, and it's on them.
Win-win.
Yeah, and everybody does the work, and and whoever owns the boat gets to clean it, and you get to go home and eat the fish.
Yeah.
It's that kind of a deal.
All right.
Benefiting from other people's
Look up
resources.
some Capricorns
Nice.
around.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, with boats. Yeah. For Aquarians, this energy is in the 7th house of intimate one-to-one relationships and open enemies. And Aquarians everywhere are trying to increase their interpersonal communication with partners, and it's both business partners and marriage partners, romantic partners. So it's whatever is your opposite in the world. Aquarians are going to try to either pour oil to smooth rough waters if the waters have been rough, which I think that they have been because Mars has been opposing their sign. If they're single, they'll attract someone. If they're married, their marriage goes well. But their public image, for one reason or another, they get good press, which is kind of a nice thing for them.
Which also means in layman's talk, other people just talk nice about them.
Yeah, talk nice about them. Yeah, talk them up.
All right.
It really is.
And what's the month on that again? Sorry, I'm just catching
for
up.
Aquarius, that's January 20th, January 19th or so to February 19th.
Gotcha. Okay.
So for them, it's better PR.
All right.
Which is kind of a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
For Pisces, it's just a matter of hard work pays off. Venus is in their 6th house of work, health, and responsibility. And this is where where it is you do your job, that environment improves. Not necessarily the job that you do. It's not necessarily a new job with a better corner office. It has a lot more to do with where it is you do your job and the way it is you do your job. Gets a lot easier for the Pisces. I don't know whether they've upgraded computer systems or or whatever it is. But the act of doing your job has been a struggle for Pisces, and it makes it very, very easy for them to do that. And new routines as well are really cool for Pisces. And it also it indicates good health, that they get to recover from some sort of an ailment, and it's an itis rather than something long and drawn out. It's an itis kind of thing. But for them, their responsibilities get to something they can manage. Okay. And so it's easy to do that.
Is that whether they make it easier for themselves or somebody else?
Or the I think it's more the structure makes it easier for them.
Okay.
I don't think it's something that they have to do to make that happen. I think the structure evolves to make it easier for the Pisces to do their job and where it is they do it. Not so much what they do, but where it is they do it.
That's always good. It makes you happy when things get easier for your workplace.
God, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Especially after you've been struggling to try and make something happen, and then finally the universe goes, okay, you've suffered enough. I'm going to make it easy on you. For Aries, man, they just want to have fun. This is the light your hair on fire, run around the room having a good time. It's the last gasp.
Who's Aries?
Aries runs from March 20th to April 19th or 20th. It literally is light your hair on fire, have as much fun as you possibly can. I don't think they're going to be working a whole lot. It's a lot of playing. It's a lot of entertaining. Good time for sports. I think it's interesting that football starts during, this Leo time span because it's really the all-American kind of sport kind of deal.
That explains a lot. When you have to be football right there. There's so much good times with football and sports, right?
Yeah. And so, and I think that also bodes well for the Bucks, tell you the truth. I do.
I think it's going to be a sneaky surprise season for the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't think we win the Super Bowl, but I don't think we're the goats of the league.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of a nice thing.
People talking about us for good reasons.
Yeah.
Instead of bad reasons.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to do bad enough to get a number one draft pick.
Yeah.
So if you're not really at the bottom of the barrel, what good is it? But I think we do better than people are expecting.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a good thing. For Tauruses, all they want to do is find peace at home. They have been struggling. And here's the deal. Mars has been in the Taurus's fourth house of home for the last 5 weeks or so. So it's upsetting circumstances at home. There's upheaval at home. There are changes at home. And the Taurus, because Mercury has been retrograde, doesn't know what to do with it. They don't really have an answer because there hasn't been a good solution yet.
Yeah.
And so they're feeling pressure, like, I got to make a decision. It's like, yeah, but you don't have all the information yet.
Right.
And so and so it's very unsettling. There are signs that could do well with having turmoil at home. Taurus is not one of them. They are one of the signs that go, look, you know what, there are a few things I'm really rigid about, and my home being my sanctuary, where if that's out of sorts, everything in their life is out of sorts. They have no ability to compartmentalize and go, okay, I'll put this over here, but that's not going to impact that. Mm-hmm. So the good news is, starting on Wednesday, they find the solution to the problem they've been dealing with at home for the last 5 weeks or so.
Compartmentalizing. That, when you said that word right there, that's one of those things where you... Yeah, especially in our business, or in any business, when you have to do a job and you have to forget about what's going on over here. Yeah, and really still do a great job.
And focus on doing that job. It's
tough.
really...
That's tough to do.
Yeah, and for Tauruses more so because that's their foundation. If their foundation is okay, they can deal with anything that goes on in the job, in the work environment. So the good news is, after Wednesday, peace at home returns, and you have the answer to what you're going to do at home. Okay. And it works out to be very, very powerful and very positive for the Taurus. And it's very liberating in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I've got a couple of home issues, so it'll be interesting to see how this pans out.
It's just getting to that point has been so frustrating because you really didn't have an answer.
I'm going to wonder if, when Wednesday comes around, I'm going to see if what kind of smile AJ comes in with.
I think she's more likely to come in with a smile than not.
I can tell the put on smile sometimes, and then we see the real smile come in sometimes.
I think this will be the genuine one.
All right,
the
Wednesday.
Real deal smile. The big... For Geminis, this energy is in the third house of day-to-day living, and the pace of their life picks up to warp speed, to where the Geminis got places to go, people to see, things to do. Short distance, short duration travel pops up for them, and they may get the opportunity to take some sort of a class or some kind of a credential that's not a huge pain in the butt, but it's enough to where it's going to take a little bit of time, but it will pay off for them financially in about 3 or 4 months. So it's sort of like the do it now, take the class now, and then in October, November is when they end up getting more money as a result of what it is that they've taken.
No, you're going to have to wait a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's a matter of you have to take it, and then it has to be applied, and it doesn't really show up in your pocket, which is what we all care about, until the fall. And then for the last sign, for Cancers, they are the ones that are having money. they're the ones that the money gods are smiling on for the next 4 weeks or so.
Okay.
And it's earned income as well as unearned income. So if I was a Cancer, I'd be buying a lottery ticket. I wouldn't buy 100 of them, but I'd buy one.
All right.
For sure, because this is through the fruits of their labor. This is a conscious choice on the Cancer's part. Some action that the Cancer takes ends up making more money for them.
Cancer is what?
Cancer runs from June 20th to July 21st or so. And so they are looking, and Mars had been in their sign in April and May. And so the things that they were trying to bring into effect then that seemed to just go by the wayside come back. And they come back in a much better circumstance for the Cancer. And so
Now,
I don't know
can I
whether
get
it's
them
a
to buy
job
me a lottery
change.
ticket?
Yes, there you go. Or
All
buy
right.
one with them. You know, if you're going to do that group thing where everybody throws in money to buy a bunch of lottery tickets, make sure there's a Cancer in the crowd.
It's that more thing again.
Exactly. You know, and it's just how Leo is. And I love them. I get the biggest kick out of that because it's just how they are. They just go, you mean there's another way to do it? It's like, no, there really isn't. So for Cancers, it's more money. So for everybody, the good news, the wrap up, the takeaway on this is that Mercury goes direct on Wednesday. Communication is restored. And Venus is in Leo, so along with the sun sign. So wherever your attention is focused, because Venus is with the sun, you're going to have a success with it. So
There you go.
that's good news all the way across the board for tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac.
There you go. Every Tuesday we do it, Star Goddess.
Every Monday.
Monday.
I'm sorry, every Monday.
See, Mercury's
More,
still
more, more.
retrograde.
Look, it's still retrograde,
Still
right?
retrograde, not till Wednesday.
Every Monday we do it. This is the podcast for July 29, 2019.
Always a pleasure.